Today the final episode of Smiling Friends Season 2 airs. But cheer up, because in today's video, we're going to take a look back at the history and creation of this show that has become, I would say, one of the most popular shows on the internet. In 2017, animators Michael Cusack and Zach Hadel came up with an idea for an animated television series titled Little Helpers. The premise of the show was quite simple. Several characters work at a hotline that unhappy people can call and get assistance to make them happy. And this early version of Smiling Friends was eventually reworked to include a cast of different main characters, but it kept the overall plot of silly characters trying to make unhappy people smile. After being reworked, the show was then pitched to Adult Swim, who greenlit a pilot episode for this series to be created. If you don't know what a pilot episode is, it is essentially an episode that is meant to introduce the viewer to the characters, the setting, and the overall plot and tone of the show, and it is used to gauge whether the audience enjoys the show enough for it to be picked up for a full series. In Smiling Friends' case, its pilot episode aired on April Fool's Day 2020, and was titled Desmond's Big Day Out, and this pilot introduced us to our main cast of the show. First, we'll take a look at the main four Smiling Friends: Charlie, Pim, Allan, and Glep. We'll begin with Charlie. Charlie is one of the two main Smiling Friends who actually go out and try to help people, the other being Pim. Charlie is voiced by Zach Hadel, and is usually more relaxed and calm, and also somewhat pessimistic.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
As opposed to his friend Pim, which is who we'll be taking a look at next. Pim, who is voiced by Michael Cusack, is the antithesis to Charlie, personality-wise. While Charlie, as I described before, is relaxed and a little more pessimistic, Pim is much more happy and go-lucky, and is happy to do any task. But he can also be a bit dumb on occasion.
This is gonna be great, Charlie. I love helping kids. I love kids, Charlie. I love kids!
Pim, I would really not be screaming that at the top of your lungs.
The next Smiling Friend is Allan, who is also voiced by Michael Cusack. Allan is the accountant and inventory manager for the Smiling Friends charity. Allan usually hangs around the office doing menial tasks, such as taking inventory. Allan is kind of the weirdo of the group, particularly due to his speaking habits.
Glep, did you take a paper clip? I counted 74 last time and now there's only 73.
But his odd voice is immediately dropped when Allan comes across something stranger than himself.
Okay, I'm not doing this right now. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Whatever.
The final of the main four Smiling Friends is Glep, voiced by Zach Hadel. And there's not much to say about Glep. He doesn't really do all that much. He can usually be found sitting in the break room, watching videos on his tablet. Now those were the Smiling Friends, but this group needs a leader, and that's where Mr. Boss comes in. Mr. Boss, voiced by Mark M., is the boss of the Smiling Friends charity, and might be even more of a weirdo than Allan.
Yep, guess time. Oogly-goo!
Although Mr. Boss is weird, and almost certainly insane, he does seem to care for the work his business does, and for his employees. As I stated before, the Smiling Friends pilot aired on April 1st, and at that time, it became Adult Swim's most viewed show on their website. And after the success of the pilot episode, Adult Swim ordered 7 additional episodes to be produced, on a measly $2 million budget, for the whole season. Now that may sound like a lot, but it's actually a very low amount. And on January 10th, 2022, the series officially premiered, and the show was extremely popular, both to general audiences and critics who praised the show for its humor. After seeing the success of the first season, Adult Swim renewed the show for a second season. But before the new second season, a special titled The Smiling Friends Go to Brazil released. And that title is humorously deceptive, as the episode does indeed show the Smiling Friends going to Brazil. But due to Pim not booking a hotel, the group just sits around and argues. And I think this is where the humor of the show shines. There's just something so funny about these goofy cartoon characters getting into an argument that sounds very realistic.
I'm trying to figure out a solution.
Dude, that's irrelevant.
And it seems like you guys are just like ganging up on me. Ganging up on you, dude. We're not.
And we would also see this type of humor implemented more into Season 2. On April Fool's Day 2024, Smiling Friends aired the debut episode of Season 2 titled Gwimbly, Definitive, Remastered, Enhanced Extended Edition, DX 4K Anniversary Director's Cut. That was a mouthful. And the internet just went crazy over the new character in this episode, Gwimbly.
But I can't do my iconic Gwimbly victory dance for only $5. I take Venmo. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Just take a look at what my most viewed video is. If that doesn't tell you how popular he is, I don't know what will. Gwimbly is a character that is based off of several iconic platforming game characters, such as Rayman, Spyro, and Banjo-Kazooie, and characters like them that have pretty much been forgotten by their studios that created them, unless they're appearing as a cameo in another game. And this episode goes heavy into mocking these studios.
It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with.
And the episode resonated with the internet due to the frustration that people had that these iconic characters who deserve a game aren't being utilized. And the other reason the internet loves this episode is because they like to pretend Gwimbly is a real video game character. Yes, Gwimbly is in fact not real. I got way too many comments asking me on my video if he's real, and where they can play the game. So if you want to see this mass silliness in full display, just take a look at the comments on my Gwimbly video. After this first episode, it was revealed that the rest of Season 2 would begin airing on May 12th, 2024. And just like Season 1, when Season 2 aired, it had great reviews. Now it's not done airing at the time of this video, but the last episode does release tonight. And so far the show has resonated very well with the internet. And I think that's because it was made for the internet. There are certain jokes and cameos that you will only find funny if you understand what is being referenced, such as the Chills cameo,
Number 15. Could I get the number 15?
the Nostalgia Critic cameo,
Before we get to that though, this video is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
and my personal favorite, the Joel Haver cameo.
I ought to knock your block off, you little freak.
And if you aren't constantly online, like myself, weird flex I know, you don't get why these are so funny. And I can't think of another show that incorporates internet humor like this show does. But that's what makes it unique and stand out from different shows. Another factor that adds to the uniqueness of the show is its use of different animation styles, such as stop motion, rotoscoped animation, and whatever this is. And with the announcement of Season 3, as long as the creators keep up the clever writing, I think it's safe to say Season 3 will be just as popular as Season 1 and 2. And if you enjoyed this video, a like, subscription, and maybe even a comment would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to watch a couple of my other videos, I'll have a few linked in the description. And I would particularly recommend my last video I made about the history and evolution of Yoshi. That one was pretty good. And as the title implies, I took a look back at the history and evolution of Yoshi, all the way from his very first appearance in Super Mario World, all the way to his most recent appearance in Super Mario Wonder. So if you want to go check that one out, I'll have it linked in the description, along with a few other videos. And with that, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.